生前、運命は無常。蝶の火を借り、汝の道を示さん。
Today's recipe is very simple. Pan-fry sliced mushrooms. When both sides are brown, put in the sauce, which is this list right here. Simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. Cornstarch slurry in, then finish with sesame oil. Plate. And that's it. That's the recipe. Vegetarian abalone is usually served with broccoli, just like the in-game picture, so you can boil some broccoli instead of using as many mushrooms as I did. As the name implies, it uses mushrooms that looks like abalone. Usually that would be piling mushrooms. As you can see, once you slice these, they do look like abalone. Sometimes other mushrooms like king oyster mushrooms are used, especially since fresh piling might be quite difficult to find. Even if you use other mushrooms like shiitake, the recipe will still turn out fine, though it's not technically vegetarian abalone anymore. The main difference would be in the texture. I also added some oyster mushrooms because it looks like these yellow things in the picture, and abalone mushrooms. Confusing, I know, since oyster mushrooms are different from king oyster mushrooms and abalone mushrooms is not the mushrooms that look like abalone. Anyway, so I wanted to try making this ghosting with real food, and at first I thought of using things like maybe a clear potato chip using potato starch, or an ice balloon or soy lecithin. Regardless of the method, the hard part would be to make the thing float while also maintaining some kind of gradient to look ghosty. I have to admit I didn't try everything, but I thought using agar powder with just plain water will make a jelly stable enough. This bowl right here is just me making a dome shape, and while the color looks great, the jelly wasn't stable enough and collapsed. So my second try was to use agar again, but this time making a thin sheet, then laying on a blue screen to see if I can get that ghosty color. I thought, even if we can't get the ghosty thing to float, if we can get a realistic ghosty color, it will be good enough. But unfortunately, this doesn't look good on screen, so I resorted to Photoshop. Just draw the ghost shape, make a feather around the edges, then put a gradient, and set one end to 0%, and we get a ghost. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here's a Hutao picture made with walnuts for good luck wishing. Be sure to like, sub and share, and lastly, a shout out to my Ko-fi supporters Mark, Gino, XL and 2 Anonymous.